After Wang Mang's death, he transformed into a giant python and crazily evolved. With the help of his family, his body size is getting bigger and bigger. From the first few meters, dozens of meters, to hundreds of meters. From Burmese pythons, to Titan pythons, and then to deep-sea pythons. When Wang Mang's volume reached over 100 meters, a catastrophic change occurred on the Earth keywords of the novel. My reservoir really doesn't have any pythons, there are no pop-ups, my reservoir really doesn't have any pythons. Download the full text, my reservoir really doesn't have any pythons. Latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Rebirth to become a python. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Rebirth to become a python. Wang Mang never dreamed that one day he would drown in his own reservoir. When I woke up again, I found myself transformed into a little python. At this moment, not far from the reservoir, in a shrubbery. A python, 2 meters long, is looking at the calm surface of the reservoir in the distance. His cold snake eyes revealed a humanized confusion. Although Wang Mang has been a python for over 2 months now. From the small python that first broke out of its shell, to the 2-meter-long python now. But he still finds it difficult to accept the fact that he went from being a super-rich second generation to a python. After filling his stomach with hunting every day, he would run to his own reservoir and daydream. Ah! It's okay, it's better to live than to die. Python is just a python. Wang Mang, who sighed, decided to start his new life from now on. Just then, a voice suddenly rang out in his mind. Ding! Swallow the evolutionary system. Binding successful. Ding! Host, do you want to view personal information? After the sound of the system, Wang Mang was stunned for a long time. After regaining his senses, Wang Mang also felt relieved. He has turned into a snake, what else can't be accepted? Moreover, before Wang Mang died, he was still a seasoned fan of novels. Thinking of this, Wang Mang silently recited in his heart. Yes. View personal information. Then, a virtual page appeared in his mind. Host. Wang Mang. Species. Burmese python. Status. Juvenile Burmese python. Current situation. Health. Body shape. 2.2 meters long and weighing 26 kilograms. Combat power. Bite force of 30 kilograms, speed of 30 kilometers per hour. Skill. Death entanglement. Evolution point. 0/100, obtained by devouring prey. After reading the information, Wang Mang was stunned. Is this your current state? As if thinking of something, Wang Mang quickly asked in his heart. Can the system, the so-called evolutionary point, be obtained by constantly devouring prey? Yes. The host can evolve through phagocytosis and constantly become stronger. Wang Mang immediately asked excitedly, so as long as I have enough prey targets to devour, can I constantly become stronger, right? Even become like in movies? Yes. As long as the host can continuously devour prey targets. After listening to the system, Wang Mang became somewhat excited. At this moment, he only then feels the future of life. Finally, it's not as boring anymore. And in order to evolve rapidly, Wang Mang couldn't stop idle immediately. He immediately moved his body and plunged into the forest again. As for Wang Mang, why not enter the reservoir to hunt? This is because Wang Mang is afraid of death. In his past life, he was fishing in his own reservoir. As a result, I didn't know what unknown creature I caught and dragged him into the reservoir. In the end, due to being dragged too far offshore, he was completely exhausted and unable to swim back to the shore, only to be drowned. At this moment, after drilling into the forest, Wang Mang began to search for prey. Wild animals often appear in this mountain forest. For example, there are wild boars, goats, even wild dogs, and animals. As for large carnivorous wild animals, Wang Mang has not found them in the past 2 months. Of course, although he had not found the footprints of large wild carnivores, Wang Mang still dared not take it lightly. In his past life, Wang Mang had heard from the people of this village that in the mountains behind this forest, some people had seen brown bears and tigers appear. As for whether there is one or not, is this important? After dying once, Wang Mang dare not risk his own life. After entering the forest, Wang Mang did not find any worthwhile targets, only saw squirrels and birds on the trees. Moreover, due to his snake god's brown, yellow, and black body, which was difficult to hide, Wang Mang had to lurk in a pile of withered tree leaves, waiting for prey to be brought to his door. The species of python is not as agile and swift as other snakes. As is well known, pythons do not run fast except underwater. So, Wang Mang's hunting methods these days are all lurking and waiting for rabbits. By nighttime, there can still be some gains. In addition, Wang Mang chose a place to crouch, where mountain rats and wild rabbits roam year-round, which is also the reason why Wang Mang relies on survival until now. The prey is too big to eat, and the prey is too small to eat enough. So, the mountain mouse and the smaller size of the wild rabbit, Wang Mang can barely eat enough. Of course, a medium-sized rabbit can hold on for half a month without eating or feeling hungry. While Wang Mang patiently waited for the rabbit, the sun finally set and night fell. The mountains and forests at night are the most terrifying, as Wang Mang had long experienced. In the mountains and forests, all kinds of animals come out to be active, especially carnivorous animals. Various animals such as wild dogs, bears, foxes, weasels, etc. are active at night. The above animals were all personally seen by Wang Mang, and there are still quite a few in the mountains and forests. As time passed, the night deepened and the mountains and forests gradually became lively. Suddenly, in Wang Mang's line of sight, a small animal emitting heat from its body walked towards him. The small animal in sight is a huge wild rabbit. It was cautiously looking around, moving its body towards Wang Mang's side. Obviously, it needs to cross the area where Wang Mang is located to search for food. After all, there is not much food in the mountains and forests, and the danger is very high. When this rabbit is more active, it will search for food near the reservoir. But this plump gray rabbit, unaware yet, had quietly entered Wang Mang's attack range. When the rabbit entered the attack range and was less than half a meter away, Wang Mang, who had hesitated for a long time, finally moved. He was like a cold arrow, with a snake head bursting out. As the snake bit the rabbit, its body quickly wrapped around the huge rabbit. After reacting, the rabbit began to struggle violently, even being forced to bite Wang Mang. But Wang Mang still couldn't let go, his body getting tighter and tighter. Moreover, the rabbit's struggling counterattack completely angered him. He began to search and retract his body, increasing the entanglement force. The big rabbit, which was originally struggling fiercely, gradually exhausted over time. 15 minutes later. Wang Mang just killed this huge wild rabbit. What gave him a headache was that the prey was too big. Live swallowing can definitely hold him to death. Fortunately, there are always more solutions than difficulties. Half an hour later. Wang Mang ate this rabbit by dividing the food. At the same time, the sound of the system in the mind rings. Congratulations to the host. Swallowing the hare gains 30 evolution points. How could a wild rabbit be worth 30 evolution points? Wang Mang suddenly became happy. Isn't that to say tonight, if he eats a few more prey, he will be able to upgrade and evolve. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. The body length has increased to 35 meters. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. The body length has increased to 3.5 meters. Moreover, Wang Mang also discovered the significant changes he had made after acquiring the system. In theory, after eating such a large wild rabbit, he should be able to move slowly and some part of his body will also expand significantly. However, none of these normal physical reactions occurred in him. His body remained unchanged, as if it had been digested from the moment the prey entered his stomach. This terrifying digestion left Wang Mang dumbfounded, while also allowing him to continue hunting with peace of mind. That night, the forest was not peaceful and spent it in Wang Mang's hunting and killing. Until near dawn, Wang Mang killed the last prey, which was a plump rat weighing nearly 10 pounds. At the same time, the sound of the system rang out again. Ding! Congratulations to the host, devouring wild rats and obtaining 8 evolution points. Ding! The host has reached the conditions for evolution. Do you want to start evolution? Upon hearing this, Wang Mang quickly muttered to himself, no. Wang Mang learned from the system that the process of evolution takes about 2 hours to complete. Therefore, Wang Mang must find a safe place to evolve with peace of mind. Then, Wang Mang moved his body and quickly returned to a football-sized dirt hole by the reservoir. At this point, he silently recited in his heart with peace of mind, system. Let's start evolving. Then, Wang Mang's entire snake was completely unconscious from the pain. 2 hours later, Wang Mang slowly woke up. First of all, Wang Mang was surprised to find that he had really grown up. As for how much it has grown, Wang Mang estimated in his heart that he should be over 3 meters now. Open personal information. With a silent thought in his heart, Wang Mang's message came to mind. Host: Wang Mang. Species: Burmese python. Status: juvenile Burmese python. Current situation: health. Body shape: 3.5 meters long and weighing 40 kilograms. Combat power: bite force of 70 kilograms, speed of 35 kilometers per hour. Skill: death entanglement. Evolution point: 60/200. After reading personal information, Wang Mang was surprised to find that his weight had almost doubled and his body length had also increased by half. A 3.5 meter long python, he should only be barely considered a python now, right? At this point, the sound of the system rings again. Congratulations to the host. Successfully evolved for the first time. Obtained a new skill. Poisonous teeth. Poisonous teeth. The toxicity is equivalent to 5 times that of a regular-eyed king snake. When he heard the sound of the system, Wang Mang froze. After regaining his senses, Wang Mang almost burst into tears of joy. Now he has finally obtained a means of self-protection. After all, the common killing method of pythons is death entanglement, which is not as fierce as some venomous snakes among snakes. Having poison fang is like adding wings to a tiger for Wang Mang. Moreover, the venom of the king cobra is already very powerful. The toxicity of the venomous tooth is still 5 times that of a cobra. This is very brutal. In the future, he will be both a python and naturally poisonous, and his combat power will definitely skyrocket. Wang Mang is also aware of the toxicity of the king cobra. He has read many news reports before. Someone who was bitten by a king snake in the eye was poisoned to death within 10 minutes, and even an ambulance couldn't make it. But now Wang Mang possesses a highly poisonous tooth that is 5 times more venomous than the eye king snake, which shows how fierce it is. Although this kind of toxicity is not the most toxic snake in the world, it is also very ferocious. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was overjoyed and curiously asked, "System, can I acquire skill abilities every time I evolve?" The sound of the system rang out again. Remind the host, there is only a chance to acquire skills or special abilities. Okay. Although not always able to acquire abilities. But Wang Mang has great confidence in his future. After all, there are still many opportunities for future evolution. He believes that he can definitely acquire more abilities. Moreover, he is not far from the next evolution now. On the first night, he obtained 160 evolution points. Wang Mang believes that the distance from the second evolution will definitely not exceed 2 days. As for now, Wang Mang can only wait until it's dark before starting hunting. At this moment, Wang Mang moved his body and emerged from the snake hole. The sun today is a bit strong. After looking around the reservoir for a while, Wang Mang found that there was actually someone fishing in his own reservoir in the distance. If he dares to fish in his reservoir without paying before he dies, he will definitely find trouble. Our own reservoir was built by his father 8 years ago and has never been salvaged. It was entirely because his father had the money to buy and play with it. The fish in the reservoir are very abundant. Of course, people often come from the home reservoir to fish, which definitely requires payment. Moreover, the people who come to their contracted reservoir to fish are all paid on a daily basis, not on a few hours or half-a-day basis. Moreover, a few years ago, my father bought 2 batches of fish fry and threw them into this large reservoir around the mountains, which is very rich in fish. Thinking of this, Wang Mang couldn't help but sigh in his heart, not knowing whether his parents had been doing well recently. The next morning, Wang Mang ran impatiently into the cave again. That night, he gained more than last time. Caught 3 wild rabbits and 6 mice. Provided him with 150 evolution points again. Adding up to the original 60 evolution points, the total is 210 evolution points, which is enough for him to evolve again. After returning to the cave, Wang Mang couldn't wait to say, "System. Let's start evolving." The sound of the system rings. Ding. Deducting 200 evolution points. Let's start evolution. End of this chapter. Chapter 3 Obtaining Skill. Skin Color Disguise. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Obtaining Skill. Skin Color Disguise. 2 hours later. Wang Mang has fully evolved and awakened. Moreover, Wang Mang also discovered that during this evolution, his body had grown significantly. It should look like 5 meters. System, open personal information. In order to see his changes more clearly, Wang Mang opened his personal information again. Host. Wang Mang. Species. Burmese python. Status. Adult Burmese python. Current situation. Health. Body shape. 5 meters long and weighing 110 kilograms. Combat power. Bite force of 180 kilograms, speed of 35 kilometers per hour. Skills. Death entanglement, poisonous teeth evolution point. 10/400. After reading his personal information, Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction. He is now 5 meters long and has thick calves, definitely a qualified python. And now that he has grown to 5 meters, he can start hunting some medium-sized prey. In summary, Wang Mang's re-evolution can be said to have many real benefits. But unfortunately at this moment, the sound of the system rang out again in my mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for evolving again and obtaining a new skill called Skin Color Disguise. Skin Tone Disguise. You can control the body's skin to change to any color. After listening to the sound of the system, Wang Mang immediately became happy. He had previously lamented that he had not acquired any new skills. Who knows? Just say, "Chow chow," and you'll be there. Moreover, the new skill he has acquired is very practical. In this way, his skin will not be limited to brown, yellow, black and so on. In addition, camouflage of skin color can also help Wang Mang adapt to hunting in many general environments. He can disguise himself as a natural color and blend with nature in any environment, improving the efficiency and results of capturing prey. Not bad. It seems that my luck is quite good. Wang Mang felt proud in his heart. Nowadays, with a 5-meter-long snake body and highly venomous teeth, even in this small mountain forest near the reservoir, he is considered a dominant figure. In a joyful mood, Wang Mang crawled out of the soil cave, ready to bask in the sun, but suddenly heard footsteps faintly coming from afar. This made Wang Mang immediately alert and moved the snake's body to hide in the nearby grass. Then, Wang Mang saw two men walking together. A middle-aged person, a young person. The two of them were carrying fishing boxes and fishing rods, searching for fishing spots around the reservoir. And you can also vaguely hear the voices of the two chatting. A middle-aged voice came. I heard that 3 months ago, the son of the reservoir owner died in this reservoir. The voice of the youth came. Yes. But I heard that this thing is quite strange. The body of the son of the reservoir owner was found in the center of the reservoir. What's even more strange is that the boss's son's fishing rod was found on the opposite bank of the reservoir, reportedly pulled down by unknown aquatic creatures. The middle-aged man's voice was filled with surprise. Is it so mysterious? The voice of the youth came. It's even more mysterious than what I said. I heard that the son of the reservoir owner was preparing to fish for a huge object, using the largest hook and the largest line, and then something happened. Many friends in the vicinity now know that some people who are causing a stir say there are water ghosts, while others say there are unknown giants in this reservoir. After hearing their conversation, Wang Mang felt helpless. In fact, what they said was indeed true. The self-contracted reservoir is a bit eerie, there are definitely unknown creatures inside, and it is very large. After all, it is possible to pull Wang Mang, a living man, into the reservoir and from the shore to the depths of the reservoir. What a terrifying force this is. Now Wang Mang feels a bit terrifying just thinking about it. Who knows, what exactly did he catch at that time? Furthermore, it is worth mentioning that the reservoir contracted by Wang Mang himself is also very large. Although not comparable to those super-large reservoirs, Wang Mang's self-contracted reservoir covers a total of 300 acres. That's 200,000 square meters. The people who come here to fish every year alone make a decent income. However, Wang Mang's father doesn't care about this amount of money. At that time, when Wang Mang had an accident, his father almost went crazy and wanted to drain the reservoir to find the culprit who killed him. How much does it cost to pump out a reservoir with an area of 300 acres and a water depth of even 300 to 400 meters? Moreover, this is not something that Wang Mang's father can easily dry if he wants to. After all, although the reservoir is contracted by Wang Mang's father, it is not private. Otherwise, when Wang Mang had an accident, his father had already done so. As for now, even though Wang Mang is 5 meters long and has calves thick, he still dare not easily enter his own reservoir. Unless he grows up a little longer, he's about 15 meters tall. Otherwise, Wang Mang really wouldn't dare to go down easily, afraid of encountering unknown creatures or water monsters. Wang Mang, who shook his head secretly, returned to the cave to rest after sunbathing for a while. After nightfall, Wang Mang finally left the cave and entered the jungle. It moved its snake body to find a new hunting ground and began a new hunt. In the blink of an eye, 5 days have passed. During these 5 days, Wang Mang diligently hunted every day. And he also completed 2 more evolutions. Now, Wang Mang has reached a body length of 8 meters. During these 5 nights, Wang Mang's food targets have become increasingly larger. Among them, he hunted wild dogs, goats, and bears, all of which became his hunting targets. As for why Wang Mang has expanded so much, it is because he has acquired 2 powerful new skills in these 2 evolutions. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Swallow the wild boar to evolve again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Swallow the wild boar to evolve again. The first skill is a skill that can enhance his surface defense, making his body's snake scale defense like iron sheet. Another skill is the ability to quickly heal Wang Mang when he is injured, and his self-healing ability is terrifying. It is these two terrifying skills that have made Wang Mang so arrogant. The target of hunting is constantly upgrading. From hunting mice and rabbits in the past, starting to hunt medium-sized prey such as bears, wild dogs, and goats now. Moreover, possessing 4 additional skills makes Wang Mang's hunting process incredibly easy. However, what made Wang Mang somewhat helpless was that since he started hunting these medium to large prey targets, he found that in this forest, prey subconsciously believed that this was his territory nearby. Therefore, many medium to large prey targets have mostly chosen to leave this mountain forest. Therefore, in the forest occupied by Wang Mang, there are fewer active large and medium-sized animals. At this moment, in the pitch-black night, a python with thighs thick and a body as black as ink is rapidly moving its massive body, searching for prey in the jungle. His 8-meter-long body made many small and medium-sized animals flee in fear upon discovery. This also made Wang Mang very helpless. After all, his large size naturally made him stand out, and the difficulty of hunting also increased significantly. After all, if we continue to follow the previous method of waiting for rabbits, so, Wang Mang spent more time and gained less. In that case, he could not evolve again today, and now Wang Mang's evolutionary point requires more. The first evolution requires 100 evolution points. The second evolution requires 200 evolution points. The third evolution requires 400 evolution points. The fourth evolution requires 800 evolution points. Tonight, I want to complete my fifth evolution. Nature requires 1,600 evolution points. This is still 300 evolution points away from the conditions for Wang Mang's evolution. The last 300 evolution points. You must hunt a sufficiently large prey to complete the evolution. Wang Mang felt a bit helpless and thought to himself. He has already searched and devoured a lot of prey tonight, which is why he achieved this step. In the long search, Wang Mang finally left this mountain forest and arrived in the back mountain range. Because in the forest near the reservoir, Wang Mang no longer has any prey that meets his goals. Small and medium-sized prey runs fast and is very vigilant, so Wang Mang had to choose the jungle near the back mountain range to look for prey. However, in fact, it did not disappoint Wang Mang. As soon as he entered the jungle of the back mountain range, Wang Mang saw a big wild boar from a distance, weighing 400 to 500 pounds. This plump wild boar immediately excited Wang Mang. He is confident in killing and devouring this fat wild boar, and he can definitely evolve for the 5th time. Therefore, Wang Mang cautiously moved his body and gradually approached. To Wang Mang's surprise, he hadn't been close for long when this fat wild boar, searching for food, saw him. Moreover, this plump wild boar not only did not retreat, but also targeted Wang Mang and walked towards him. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang was not surprised at all. After all, wild boars are omnivorous animals and can also eat meat when there is meat. Moreover, it is estimated that Wang Mang's body size is not too threatening to this wild boar. After all, Wang Mang is only 8 meters long. Therefore, this wild boar can be said to be very brave and even set its sights on Wang Mang. Wang Mang couldn't help but sneer to himself about this. At the same time, Wang Mang was more like a king cobra, with a 2-meter-tall snake head standing upright, and the snake's eyes staring coldly at it. Wang Mang's actions also made this wild boar instinctively retreat and make progress, somewhat hesitant. It clearly felt a sense of danger from Wang Mang. This is undoubtedly telling it that the python in front of it may not be easy to deal with. Therefore, there is no doubt that this wild boar did not act recklessly, but instead circled around Wang Mang. Similarly, Wang Mang is also looking for opportunities to attack. He wants to ensure a successful one-shot attack. As long as Wang Mang bites this wild boar and injects the toxin from his fangs, this wild boar will be his plate of food. The scene froze for a few minutes before Wang Mang suddenly moved, like a cold arrow shot out from a blast. The snake's head bit the wild boar's neck. At the same time, while biting the fat wild boar, Wang Mang also injected the toxins already prepared in his fangs. Hustle and bustle. Accompanied by a scream, the wild boar was clearly angered and immediately roared and rushed towards Wang Mang frantically. Although Wang Mang had already released the snake's mouth, he was still coaxed out by the wild boar with its wild hair and smashed to the ground. Although he was not injured, Wang Mang was still coaxed to a state of 7 meat and 8 vegetables, and his head was a bit shaken. But when Wang Mang saw the wild boar rushing crazy again, he quickly moved his body and climbed up a tree with a bowl-wide mouth. Even so, the wild boar clearly did not give up easily. It kept gnawing on the big tree and was clearly very angry even when it hit the top. Upon seeing this scene, Wang Mang paid no attention and wrapped his body around the tree, allowing the wild boar under the tree to tinker with ease and composure. Because in no more than 15 minutes, this big wild boar will definitely fall down, and Wang Mang has injected a lot of venom with his fangs before. Not to mention this wild boar, even the elephant has arrived and has to lie down within an hour. Moreover, the more the wild boar tinkles, the faster the toxin will take effect. So now, Wang Mang only needs to wait until his prey falls to the ground to enjoy this big wild boar weighing 400 to 500 pounds. This wild boar can also be considered the biggest prey captured by Wang Mang recently. Therefore, once this wild boar is devoured, Wang Mang will be able to undergo a 5th evolution. At that time, his body length will definitely reach 10 meters. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. New skills. Body length is 10 meters. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. New skills. Body length is 10 meters. Sure enough, after tinkering under the tree for a while, this fat and robust wild boar began to shake its head and head, its body swaying in all directions. He seemed to be about to collapse at any moment. This is clearly Wang Mang's snake venom starting to take effect. This whole process is only about 10 minutes. This also made Wang Mang have to lament that his toxicity is really domineering. A fat and strong wild boar has only been holding on for about 10 minutes. If someone is bitten by him, it is probably not much better. With a loud bang, the wild boar, which had gone crazy before, fell down not far from the tree where Wang Mang was. It can faintly make a mournful roar and its body twitching less and less. After a while, Wang Mang felt almost done before going down to check the situation of the wild boar. After confirming that the wild boar had indeed died completely, Wang Mang also began to dismember it and eat it. This process was somewhat bloody and time-consuming. It took Wang Mang 2 hours to finish feeding the wild boar. At the same time, the sound of the system also sounded. Ding! Congratulations to the host. Obtained 450 evolution points. Ding! Congratulations to the host. Successfully met the conditions for evolution. Do you want to start evolution? No. Upon hearing the sound of the system, Wang Mang's heart was instantly filled with joy. Before leaving, he glanced at the 3 wild dogs that were not far away and were still afraid to approach. Because Wang Mang didn't finish all the wild boars, and he was too lazy to eat the visceral bone rack. Instead, he gave these wild dogs a discount. Before dawn, Wang Mang had already left the forest behind the mountain range and returned to his own snake nest. System. Let's start the 5th evolution. Wang Mang silently recited with excitement and anticipation in his heart. The sound of the system rings again. Ding! Deducting 1600 evolution points, start evolution. Then, Wang Mang, as usual, completely lost consciousness in pain. It wasn't until 2 hours later that Wang Mang woke up leisurely. Meanwhile, Wang Mang found that his volume had become thicker and longer again. After roughly guessing, Wang Mang felt that his body length should have reached around 10 meters. Of course, one's own guesses certainly do not have systematic personal information to be more accurate. Therefore, Wang Mang muttered excitedly in his heart, "System, open personal information." The next moment, personal information comes to mind. Host: Wang Mang. Species: Burmese python. Status: adult Burmese python. Current situation: health. Body shape: 10 meters long and weighing 460 kilograms. Combat power: bite force of 600 kilograms, speed of 40 kilometers per hour. Skills: death entanglement, poisonous teeth, skin color disguise, defense enhancement, super self-healing. Evolution point: 150/3200. After reading his personal information, Wang Mang became even more satisfied. Sure enough, his body length has reached 10 meters. My body is almost as thick as an adult's waist. The biting force has reached 600 kilograms. What is this concept? Let's give an analogy. His bite force is about twice that of a lion. It has already surpassed most carnivorous beasts. If you add many skills, now Wang Mang has confidence that he can easily kill the big wild boar that weighed 400 to 500 pounds last night. Even if he were to fight against large beasts like tigers and lions nowadays, Wang Mang had the confidence to easily defeat them. Thinking of this, Wang Mang couldn't help but feel a bit spirited. He didn't even know what other animals besides humans could kill him now. Even if it were an elephant now, Wang Mang had confidence to defeat it. At this moment, Wang Mang's expansion was unprecedented. At this moment, the sound of the system rang out again. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have acquired a new skill. Speak human words. Mouth speak. Give the host the ability to speak. Sleeping slot. How could this skill make me speak? Wang Mang, who was stunned, instinctively exclaimed in amazement. But the next moment, Wang Mang was immediately surprised to find that he could really speak. This. Okay. Okay. Haha. Wang Mang was so excited that he almost fainted. Although this skill only works for him to speak. But for Wang Mang, who used to be a human, the meaning of being able to make him speak again is completely different. Not only that, once you can speak up, doesn't it mean you can recognize your parents? Thinking of this, Wang Mang couldn't help but get excited. If he can recognize his parents, with their financial help, what extent will his volume increase to? 20 meters. 30 meters. 40 meters. Or is it? Or just thinking about it, Wang Mang couldn't help but go crazy with excitement. In addition, his father has a considerable wealth of over 2 billion yuan. So, Wang Mang doesn't have to worry, he will eat his father out when he goes back. And with the help of my dad and providing him with enough food, Wang Mang couldn't imagine how strong and terrifying he would become. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's face was full of excitement, with an impulse to laugh up in the sky. Finally, I don't have to live in these mountains and forests like cold-blooded animals. However, after being happy, Wang Mang, who had calmed down, became somewhat worried. He doesn't know if his family can accept his current identity as a python. After pondering for a while, Wang Mang murmured to himself, "Anyway, we must go home and give it a try." Obviously, Wang Mang has made a decision, regardless of whether his family can accept this fact, he will go back and recognize his family. However, the first thing to consider is the distance back home. Because the location of Wang Mang's family is too far from here. A journey of several hundred kilometers, it's okay if you drive along the mountains and forests. My family lives in affluent areas, all in economically prosperous city centers. If Wang Mang goes back like this, even if he travels at night, he will inevitably be exposed. After all, his current volume is really too large, and it's not so easy to successfully go home. So, Wang Mang's goal is focused on his grandmother who currently lives in the countryside. He can only contact his family through his grandmother now. Thinking of this, Wang Mang prepared to take action tonight. The large reservoir where Wang Mang is located is not too far from the village at the foot of the mountain. Wang Mang is confident that he can arrive at his grandmother's house in just 2 hours at night. This also made Wang Mang secretly grateful. Fortunately his grandmother was conservative and unwilling to live in the city. Otherwise, if Wang Mang wants to join his family, there may be many difficulties and risks of exposure. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's mood suddenly improved a lot. He moved his thick body and left his snake nest. To be honest, this snake nest is a bit cramped and crowded for Wang Mang now. After all, Wang Mang's qualified snake nest itself only has a football-sized hole, which would have been more manageable in the past. But now Wang Mang's body has swollen to the point where it's almost waist-thick, and even if he pushes hard, it's very congested. If it weren't for considering leaving tonight, Wang Mang really planned to build or search for a new nest. To Wang Mang's surprise, as soon as he left the snake cave, he heard footsteps accompanied by a high decibel scream. Oh my goodness! There's a python. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Was unexpectedly exposed by the anchor. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6 was unexpectedly exposed by the anchor. The sudden cry of surprise immediately made Wang Mang secretly feel uneasy. He quickly lifted his snake head and saw 2 women and 2 men standing a few meters away with fishing tools. One of the men was still holding specialized equipment for shooting live broadcasts. At this moment, all 4 of them stood dumbfounded in the distance, staring in terror at the nearby python, whose body had already penetrated halfway. Coincidentally, the camera footage of this fishing anchor team also exposed Wang Mang without reservation. The audience, who were watching fishing, couldn't help but burst into a frenzy of comments. Wild angler. Sleeping in the trough. Such a big python. This TM is at least about 10 meters long. Deep sea fishing expert. My God. This is the first time I've seen such a big boa constrictor. It's his mother thick. Wild fishing queen. I'm scared to pee. This is too terrifying. This python has caught my waist. Tourist 7523. This python is too big. Oh my God. It's too long. Sexy little baby. Oh my goodness, isn't it that there are very few pythons around 10 meters in China? How could such a big python appear? The scumbag tinfoil perm said, sleeping slot, I've already taken a screenshot. This python is too thick, isn't it? Outdoor brother. I lost it. This is the first time I've seen such a big python, it's much thicker than what I saw in the zoo, right? Fishing enthusiast. Oh my goodness, this large reservoir around the mountains seems a bit strange. No wonder it was so much of a stir 2 months ago, and now even such a big python has appeared. Finally, under the stunned gaze of the audience in the live broadcast room, as well as the fishing team and others, Wang Mang quickly moved his massive body and disappeared into the jungle. It wasn't until several minutes later that the beautiful anchor in charge of fishing finally came to her senses. She had a pretty face but still had a pale expression, clearly still feeling a lingering fear. This is really because the python they just saw was too big. Especially in terms of size, it matches the waist circumference of a beautiful woman. In terms of size, it is even thicker than the Amazon python. At this moment, the beautiful anchor Xiao Su still had a lingering fear on her face, reaching out to pat her chest, trying to calm her intense heartbeat. She was afraid to say, "My mom, this mountain-surrounded reservoir is so scary." But as the beautiful woman spoke, the other companions started coughing. This left Xiao Su somewhat bewildered, looking at her equally frightened companion in confusion. When she saw the strange gazes of her three companions, Xiao Su's pretty face was full of confusion and asked, "What's wrong with you? Are you scared too?" Upon hearing this, the boy in charge of shooting live broadcasts with equipment couldn't help but blush and say, "It's not that we were scared, silly, it's you. Let's take a look at your pants." Upon hearing these words, Xiaosu lowered her head in confusion. But when she saw a water stain on her jeans, her pretty face instantly turned red and dizzy. Turns out, she didn't even realize that she was really scared out of control before. At this moment, she was even more ashamed and angry, wanting to find a crack to penetrate. Similarly, this scene did not escape the bright eyes of the live broadcast audience. Many people couldn't help but burst into laughter while commenting, causing comments to roll wildly in the live broadcast room. Fishing expert. 666, the anchor was so scared. Ha ha ha, it's raining again. Are you afraid or not? Wild fishing queen. This anchor girl is really not good. Seeing such a big python, can't you help it? Lori love uncle. Auntie upstairs, I suspect you're driving, and I have evidence. Bully is not a master. Oh my. Fortunately, the python runs fast, otherwise it would have been caught by the female anchor. It's hard to imagine Crow sitting on a plane. Mom, such a thick python, little sister must be scared. Very normal, okay. Cute moon. What kind of people are they? This can also drive, you old turtles. Obviously, the audience in the live broadcast room greatly appreciated the host, which was a very shameful and embarrassing scene. Similarly, this video with such a huge reversal was quickly spread out again. I believe it won't be long before this video appears on major social video websites. Because Wang Mang's physique is too frightening and eye-catching. In addition, the beautiful anchor scared out a water stain on her pants. This kind of video about beautiful women and pythons, full of topics, is destined to be very eye-catching. In fact, it is indeed the case. This video has also been spread by many good people. Moreover, the video quickly caused quite a stir on the internet, of course. The culprit behind all of this, Wang Mang, was completely unaware, let alone unaware that a female fishing anchor had been scared to pee by him. At this moment, on a sturdy tree near the reservoir, Wang Mang's massive snake body was entwined around the tree, and his massive snake head was gazing into the distance. Similarly, a few members of the previous anchor team also appeared in Wang Mang's sight. To his surprise, the fishing anchor team did not back down. Still found a place far away from Wang Mang's previous location, ready to continue fishing. Wang Mang was not surprised by this either. After all, these people who came so far to fish in the reservoir couldn't have been scared by him and left the reservoir empty-handed. But it was Wang Mang, enjoying the bright and somewhat poisonous sun, and his body felt a little uncomfortable under the sunlight. He is actually a cold-blooded snake, and Wang Mang can understand and accept these natural body reactions. It is worth mentioning that in the sky, an eagle constantly hovering above his head kept barking incessantly. But unfortunately, this eagle clearly knew that Wang Mang was not easy to provoke, so it did not launch an attack on him and dared not provoke him. At this moment, Wang Mang didn't know if it was his own illusion. He even vaguely saw a huge black shadow in the center of the reservoir. After a while, this huge shadow disappeared from the surface of the reservoir lake. Sleeping trough. What exactly was in the water just now? It's too big, isn't it? Wang Mang was greatly shocked in his heart. He was even more certain in his heart that there were unknown giant creatures underwater. Because Wang Mang's intuition told him that he had absolutely no dizziness before. Moreover, if it weren't for Wang Mang winding around a big tree at a very high angle, it would be difficult to see the huge shadow of the startled swan in the previous reservoir. Damn it! No matter what monster you are, I will seek revenge on you sooner or later. Wang Mang, who was somewhat angry, thought with an extremely gloomy heart. By the time it was dark, the people fishing in the reservoir had already walked almost to the point. Wang Mang finally climbed down from the big tree. He didn't stop at all, moving his massive snake body and began to descend the mountain, shuttling through the rural manor fields. The massive figure of Wang Mang also alarmed many active small animals at night, causing quite a stir. At night, Wang Mang could still vaguely see several figures wandering in the rice fields. As for what these people were fussing about in the rice fields, Wang Mang didn't need to guess, clearly catching eels and loaches. Regarding this, Wang Mang didn't want to cause any trouble and hurried in the direction of his grandmother's home as he remembered it. Just then, a barking dog suddenly came from behind. Woo woof. Woo woof. In the deep night, this dog's barking was particularly loud, ranging from far to near. Wang Mang immediately turned his huge snake head, and in his cold snake eyes, he saw several people catching eels in the distance. The local dog they brought was actually running towards him without even realizing it. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Finally successfully returning home. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Finally successfully returning home. Damn it. Is this dead dog trying to find death? Wang Mang couldn't help but curse inwardly. Then, Wang Mang tried to break free from the pursuit of the big dog and quickly moved his body into a cornfield. At the same time, Wang Mang vaguely heard a young voice. Rhubarb. Rhubarb. Come back. What left Wang Mang helpless was that he had already gone into the corn forest, but this big yellow dog still caught up without knowing what to do. In addition, the distant movements also told Wang Mang that the young men who were catching eels and loaches were also rushing towards this direction. Since you bastard wants to die, don't blame me. Wang Mang twisted his huge snake head back and arched it over 2 meters high, staring coldly at the big yellow dog. This big yellow dog was obviously scared by Wang Mang's huge body size and dared not rush towards him recklessly. Instead, it bared its teeth fiercely at Wang Mang from a few meters away and let out a muffled low growl. Woo-woo. Wang. Not only that, it saw that Wang Mang did not make any offensive moves, and this big yellow dog was even more daring. It approached cautiously, always grinning fiercely at Wang Mang and issuing a low warning sound. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang knew that he had to kill this big yellow dog, otherwise he would be exposed. Therefore, after the unaware yellow dog entered the attack range, Wang Mang quickly opened his bloody mouth and rushed forward. The speed was so fast that even this big yellow dog didn't react. Wang Mang's snake pot was wide-mouthed, biting into the neck of the big yellow dog. Then, Wang Mang's massive body immediately wrapped around it, giving the local dog no time to react. Quickly, as Wang Mang continued to vigorously entangle his body, the yellow dog couldn't help but let out a painful howl. Woo-woo. Even the faint sound of bone fractures emanating from the yellow dog could be heard faintly. Unfortunately, Wang Mang did not stop there. After crushing all the bones of the rhubarb dog, he swallowed it whole. At the same time, the sound of the system rang out again. Ding! Congratulations to the host, Devour the Hyena. Gain 85 evolution points. After hearing the sound of the system, Wang Mang didn't pay attention, but quickly moved his body away from the corn forest. At this moment, outside the corn field, 3 young people looked at the corn field with frightened faces, feeling somewhat bewildered. Previously, there was a scream of rhubarb coming from the corn, and they also heard it. But they dare not act recklessly, knowing that it is very likely that it is rhubarb, which has provoked some unknown and vicious creature. However, it is obviously very difficult to deal with creatures that can quickly kill rhubarb. So, they didn't even have the courage to run into the corn field, let alone save the rhubarb. When the screams of rhubarb disappeared and the cornfield gradually calmed down, the 3 young people exchanged a glance, their expressions extremely panicked and afraid. What exactly killed rhubarb? One of the young men swallowed his saliva and asked in fear. I don't know, let's take a look during the day. Yeah. Even if we discover the creatures that can kill rhubarb so quickly, we can't beat them. Come and take a look during the day. Let's go back first. The other two young people shook their heads in fear. After discussing for a while, the three of them each went home. They were so scared that they had no intention of catching eels. 2 hours later. Wang Mang finally arrived at his grandmother's home in memory. Looking up, my grandmother's house is still brightly lit upstairs. This made Wang Mang couldn't help but get excited. After 2 months, he finally came back again. Wang Mang suppressed his excitement and moved his massive snake body to the outside of his grandmother's yard. As soon as Wang Mang approached, he heard a fierce barking sound from the dog. Woo woof. Woo woof woof. Dan the big black panther. I'm your master. Don't you know me anymore? After hearing the barking of the dog, Wang Mang couldn't help but feel a bit helpless. He lifted his huge snake head and saw a strong Tibetan mastiff tied outside the yard not far away. Then, a magical scene occurred. The originally fierce black panther immediately froze when it heard Wang Mang's voice. Its big dog head tilted back and forth, staring blankly at the behemoth in front of it. Obviously, it's strange why this python can speak. Moreover, the sound of speaking is still the voice of its owner. Upon seeing this scene, Wang Mang immediately knew that the Black Panther had clearly not forgotten its voice. Black Panther, be good. Don't bark. With joy, Wang Mang scolded the big Black Panther. This made the originally fierce Black Panther suddenly start wagging its tail, looking excited and active. After seeing the Black Panther calm down, Wang Mang moved the huge plate into a ball and shouted excitedly towards the bright second floor upstairs, Grandma. Grandma. Accompanied by Wang Mang's call, the elderly and depressed grandmother in the second floor room thought she had hallucinations. Since Wang Mang left, the old man has been bedridden and his grandmother, who used to go out frequently, has become increasingly unwell. These Wang Mang were unknown, but when the old man heard his voice, he excitedly propped up his frail body and trembled as he descended the stairs. The old man was still muttering in his mouth, "My grandson is back, my grandson, where is my grandmother? My grandmother is." When the old man arrived downstairs, he opened the door and looked blankly at the pitch-black surroundings, calling out, "Grandchild. Grandchild, grandchild. Grandma is here." Hidden in the darkness, Wang Mang's emotions were a bit out of control, but he was also worried that going out now would scare the elderly. After a moment of silence, Wang Mang looked at his elderly grandmother in front of the door and said, "Grandma, my grandson has returned, but I dare not come out for fear of scaring you." This small voice made the elderly person more certain that their missed grandson had really returned. The old man became even more agitated and said, "Grandmother, grandmother is not afraid. Grandson, come out quickly and let grandmother take a look." After a long silence, Wang Mang roughly explained what he had encountered to his grandmother. Finally, amidst the affectionate call of "my grandmother," Wang Mang slowly moved his massive snake body and emerged from the darkness. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Almost scared my parents out. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 almost scared my parents out. Looking at the huge object in front of her, the elderly grandmother was stunned for a while. After regaining his senses, the old man looked up at Wang Mang and said, Are you my grandson?" "Grandma, it's me." Wang Mang nodded at the huge snake head. "Grandchild, how did you become like this? Did you become like this after being eaten by monsters? Our old Wang family, what kind of sin has this been created? How could it be done to my grandson like this?" The old man sobbed with a trembling tone, reaching out his wrinkled hand and trembling as he stroked Wang Mang's large snake body. Upon hearing his grandmother's words, Wang Mang was immediately speechless. He only then remembered the elderly generation of his grandmother, who had a much stronger acceptance ability than modern people. Moreover, the older generation is extremely superstitious, they always believe that raising their head 3 feet is divine. Therefore, Wang Mang's recognition of his grandmother was much simpler and easier than he had imagined. Thinking of this, Wang Mang whispered, "Grandma, it's better to live than to die completely." After listening to Wang Mang's words, the old man nodded and said, "Yes, my grandson is right. Maybe my grandson can become a sperm in the future. If my grandson is lucky, he may even become a deity in the future if he is favored by immortals." Thinking of this, the old man became much more emotionally happy, affectionately caressing Wang Mang's basin-sized snake head. To outsiders, Wang Mang may seem extremely ferocious, but in the eyes of the elderly, he is full of indulgence. No matter what kind of grandson becomes, he is always her beloved grandson. Wang Mang did not expose this either. Grandma is superstitious, as long as grandma is happy. "Grandma, I want to see my dad and mom," Wang Mang said after thinking for a moment. Upon hearing Wang Mang's words, Grandma nodded repeatedly and said, "Yes, yes, grandson, I'll talk to your father right now." After speaking, Grandma trembled and took out her phone, calling Wang Mang's parents in front of him. After the phone was connected, Wang Mang didn't speak the whole time, just listened to the familiar voice of his father on the phone, feeling excited. As for Grandma, she said there was something important to tell them, that they must come back tomorrow, but she didn't mention anything about Wang Mang becoming a python. After hanging up the phone, Grandma looked at Wang Mang and said, "Grandchild, go back to the house and sleep." Wang Mang smiled bitterly and said, "Grandma, no need, I'll sleep in the woods in the backyard." Grandma scolded, "How can this be done?" Upon hearing this, Wang Mang gave a bitter smile and said, "Grandma, I've become a python. It's inconvenient to stay in the house." The old man still strongly disagreed and scolded, "No way, what if someone finds out outside? What if they want to harm your grandson's life?" Helpless, Wang Mang had no choice but to compromise. He twisted his large body and slept in a room on the second floor that once belonged to him. Because the elderly are nostalgic, even after Wang Mang's death, they still haven't taken away his belongings and daily necessities. The decorations in Wang Mang's room were all the same, except for the dust in the room. Obviously, his grandmother often came to clean his room. After returning to his room, Wang Mang's heart was filled with emotions, and he finally felt the warmth of his former home. The 2-month life of a cold-blooded animal made Wang Mang almost forget that he used to be a person. Fortunately, now that he has recognized his family, he no longer has to live a life of drinking blood every day like before. Early the next morning, Grandma personally cooked a few delicious dishes and called Wang Mang to have a meal. What left Wang Mang helpless was that these foods were completely difficult for him to swallow. Not only is the taste sense very repulsive, but it also cannot provide him with any evolutionary points. Therefore, Wang Mang had no choice but to tell his grandmother the truth, saying that he liked to eat fresh animals with meat. After listening to Wang Mang's words, my grandmother thought for a moment and felt that Wang Mang was right. Where do pythons eat? Moreover, may my grandson become an immortal in the future. After all, now my grandson is already a snake demon. Yes, in the eyes of the old man, his grandson Wang Mang has turned into a python and can still speak human language. It is obvious that he is a snake demon. Therefore, the old man thought for a moment and looked at Wang Mang, asking, "Grandchild, where can grandma buy you some live chickens and ducks?" Wang Mang quickly shook his head and said, "Grandma, I don't need it anymore. I can skip a meal for a long time, and it's not a problem if I don't eat for half a month." Seeing Wang Mang quickly refuse, the old man hesitated for a moment and said, "Okay, grandson, when your father comes, I'll talk to him." Upon hearing this, Wang Mang nodded. He still had to rely on his father's help to become even stronger. In the afternoon, Wang Mang's parents came. How did Wang Mang know? From afar, Wang Mang could hear the sound of cars. Through the window, Wang Mang saw his parents whom he had not seen in 2 months, walking towards him with some supplements. Soon, Grandma went down and opened the door. After Wang Fu's mother walked into the room, she felt even more guilty when she saw the haggard old man. Since his son left, the old man has been depressed and in very poor physical condition. I don't know what happened today, but the old man made them rush back so urgently. But they knew the old man was not in good health, so they rushed back without stopping. "Mom, are you in good health?" Wang Long asked anxiously, and Li Wan beside her also did the same. Upon hearing this, the old man shook his head and glanced at his son and daughter. Law, then slowly said, "Go upstairs. My grandson wants to see you." Upon hearing the old man's words, Wang Long and Wang Mu were both stunned and looked at the old man with astonishment on their faces. Wang Long couldn't help but worry and said, "Mom, don't think too much. If Manger is still alive, he definitely hopes you're okay." "Bastard. Of course I know my grandson wants me to be okay." The old man suddenly scolded, "You rebellious son, think I'm old and foolish. Father Wang." "What? Queen Mother." The father and mother of Wang dared not speak anymore and could only remain silent. At this moment, the old man explained the matter to the two of them. After listening to the old man's words, Wang's father and mother also believed that the elderly person should have developed delusions. "I must miss my grandson too much." Seeing the appearance of their son and daughter. Law, the old man's lifelong experience, where doesn't he know their thoughts? The old man was so angry that he trembled all over. He grabbed the chicken blanket beside him and greeted Father Wang, angrily rebuking him, You rebellious son." At the same time, upon hearing the commotion, Wang Mang moved his large snake body out of the room and arrived at the fence on the 2nd floor. Watching the familiar figures of his parents downstairs, Wang Mang suppressed his excitement and shouted to them, "Dad, Mom. What Grandma said is true." When Wang Mang's familiar voice sounded, both his father and mother stiffened. "After all, it's my own son, how could I forget my voice?" They even thought it was a brain hallucination. But when Wang's father and mother looked up, they saw a scene that made their scalp tingle, and even almost scared them unconscious. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Dad wants to buy 10,000 pigs. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Dad wants to buy 10,000 pigs. I saw it at the fence on the 2nd floor. A python with a snake head standing upright, 3 meters high, pitch black as ink, and thick as a human waist, was staring at them. Under the stunned gaze of his parents, Wang Mang exclaimed excitedly, "Dad, Mom. I'm Wang Mang." After hearing Wang Mang's words, the two of them jumped up from the ground in fear and screamed with pale faces, "Monster." Watching the frightened look on his parents, Wang Mang was very speechless. Seeing this scene, the grandmother on the side shouted loudly, "Look at how scared you are. Can my grandson still eat you all?" Obviously, Wang's father and mother's acceptance ability in their hearts is not as good as his grandmother's. After spending 2 slow hours in the end. After repeated verification, Wang's parents finally believed that the python in front of them was their son. However, the two of Wang's father and mother had mixed feelings in their hearts. Happy, of course their son has returned. Sadness is their son's condition, which makes them unable to accept it all at once. Oh my God! Are you really a snake demon in your current state? At this moment, Father Wang Long couldn't help but ask curiously. The Queen Mother beside her also had a curious expression on her face. After all, they have at least received higher education. He is completely an atheist, but his own son has become a python. Even if they believe in science, they cannot refuse to believe in ghosts and gods. Upon hearing this, Wang Mang shook his head and said helplessly, "Dad, I don't know either. Maybe it is. Upon hearing these words, Father Wang became even more curious and said, "Which son, do you know magic or something?" Wang Mang. ###. Seeing Wang Mang shake his head, Wang's father was somewhat disappointed and puzzled, saying, "What, are you really a demon now? If you're not a demon, how can you talk?" Wang Mang thought for a moment and slowly spoke up, "Dad, I think I might be considered a demon. For example, I have a premonition that as long as I keep eating, I can become very big, and even become like in movies, which is not impossible. Moreover, every time my body grows larger, with good luck, I can also acquire some special abilities." After hearing Wang Mang's words, the Queen Mother curiously asked, "My son, is your ability to speak like this also a special ability you have acquired?" Seeing this, Wang Mang nodded and said, "Yeah. Mom, I just spoke with a special ability. Otherwise, I might not have come back." Upon hearing these words, Father Wang patted his thigh and said, "Son, don't guess, you must be a demon now. Didn't you say that as long as one eats something, it can become stronger? Son, do you think Dad can do anything for you?" Wang Mang's heart was filled with joy, and he said to himself, "Dad, that's all I've been waiting for." With this in mind, Wang Mang quickly said, "Mom and Dad, I feel like as long as I eat a certain prey target every time, I can evolve and become stronger. So, if you have the ability, Dad, prepare some prey for your son. Chicken, duck, pig, dog, cow, and sheep, as long as they are food, and the amount needed is relatively large. Dad, I have evolved 4 or 5 times now. Each time I consume prey targets, after each evolution, the consumption will become more than the last evolution." After Wang Mang's explanation, Wang Long nodded and pondered, "Son, I understand. Are you saying that as long as you eat enough prey, you can constantly evolve and become stronger, and even eventually become a true demon?" Wang Mang nodded helplessly. Although he wanted to say he wasn't a demon, he couldn't explain his own state or expose the system. Therefore, if parents treat them as demons, they can accept it and avoid spending too much time explaining their current state. "No problem, son, isn't it just meat? Dad has plenty of money. According to your son, in your current state, you need 3,600 pounds of prey to evolve, right? At most, eating 10 pigs is enough to evolve and become stronger again, right? I'll buy you 10,000 pigs to eat." Mr. Wang seemed to have discovered the new world and said excitedly, "After all, my own son has become a legendary demon. He, as a father, naturally needs to stand firm and help. No matter what state Wang Mang has become, it cannot be denied that he is his son. And this unprecedented thing happened to my own son. He also wants to see if his son will become a legendary demon with magical power that can summon wind and rain. 10,000 pigs. What is the concept? How strong can it become?" To be honest, Wang Mang himself also wants to know. Therefore, Wang Mang's heart became even more excited and hopeful. After all, a pig weighs 400 to 500 pounds, and the evolution points obtained by eating 10 pigs are enough for its current evolution. Next time we evolve, even if we double again, we will still have 20 pigs. In summary, 10,000 pigs are definitely enough for him to evolve many times. Thinking of this, Wang Mang became even more excited, but at the same time, he expressed some concern. "Dad, 10,000 adult pigs for sale are not cheap, are they?" Upon hearing these words, Father Wang was taken aback and said with a black face, 10,000 pigs, your father still has a way to get them. Dad himself is in the feed industry. If it's not big enough, I can go and raise a batch of piglets myself." Upon hearing his father's words, Wang Mang suddenly remembered that his father himself was involved in the feed industry. "My father is doing a big business in the feed sector and is also one of the top feed suppliers in the province." After thinking about this, Wang Mang felt much less hesitant and couldn't help but nod his head, saying, "Dad, which son can be so strong that it's up to you?" Father Wang waved his hand proudly and said, small question, but Manger, you can't live in your grandmother's house now, can you? It's okay in the short term, but it's easy to expose over time. When the time comes, you will really be caught and sliced. I can't protect you, you old man. Speaking of which, Mr. Wang's face became unusually serious. He knows his son's current condition and cannot expose it. If anyone knew that his son had turned into a python and could still speak human words, he would definitely be caught and studied by some departments. Dad, I plan to place the new snake nest activity on the side of the Huanshan Reservoir. After all, I have been living there for over 2 months now. Wang Mang thought for a moment and looked at his father seriously, saying. Upon hearing these words, the old man quickly shook his head in fear and said. That's not possible. That reservoir is too strange. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Establishing a large pig farm for Wang Mang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Establishing a large pig farm for Wang Mang. After all, the death of my own son was due to the Huanshan Reservoir. So, of course he didn't agree, and Wang Mang continued to stay at the Huanshan Reservoir. The Queen Mother nodded repeatedly and firmly refused, no way, son. You died in the Huanshan Reservoir last time. The cause of death is unclear, and you can never continue to stay in the reservoir this time. At this point, the Queen Mother, father, and grandma all became serious and began to persuade. Manger, how did you die on Earth? Didn't you go fishing? Why did you end up drowning? So, Manger, let's choose another place instead. Upon hearing these words, Wang Mang hesitated for a moment and shook his huge snake head, saying, Dad, my death is indeed related to the reservoir. There are huge unknown creatures in the reservoir. Wang Mang's words made the Queen Mother, father, and grandma all look shocked and incredulous at Wang Mang. Father Wang was even more shocked and asked, Son. Is it possible that there is still a water monster in our reservoir? The Queen Mother, on the other hand, said even more firmly, You can't stay in the reservoir. Absolutely not. Seeing this, Wang Mang said helplessly, It's okay, parents. Wait until I grow to 20 meters before I go to the reservoir to explore. The Queen Mother shouted anxiously, No way. What if it's really a water monster? Don't go. Don't stay in the reservoir. Helpless, Wang Mang could only discuss with his family. After 2 hours of discussion, the family reluctantly agreed to Wang Mang's request. Not only that, but Dad is also discussing his initial plan to become stronger. According to my father's idea, he is planning to bring over 100 pigs to Wang Mang first. Let's see to what extent Wang Mang can evolve and become stronger after eating hundreds of pigs. Then he officially started using money to smash Wang Mang, accelerating his growth and evolution. Not only that, according to his father's idea, he plans to completely ban fishing in the reservoir and treat it as Wang Mang's active location. However, in the end, Wang Mang rejected this idea because it was too eye-catching to do so. According to Wang Mang's idea, his father is building a huge pig farm near the reservoir. In this way, it is not only convenient for Wang Mang to evolve, but also not too eye-catching. After finalizing the method with his family, Father Wang immediately began to implement it. 2 months later. A huge pig farm has been built near the Huanshan Reservoir, a 2-kilometer journey away. The place where the pig farm was established was completely built in the mountains and forests. We also hired many breeders and deployed 6,000 heads. Just this 15,000 square meter field investment, Wang Mang's father has invested nearly 1 billion yuan. This is entirely based on the large-scale breeding farm that raised over 10,000 pigs. Fortunately, the cost of feed can be ignored, and the cost of self-produced and self-sufficient production is not high. The main investment is the large site required for pig farming and the cost of pig seedlings. By establishing a large-scale breeding site and adding pig seedlings, Dad's investment has reached approximately 150 million yuan. From here, Wang Mang can also see that his father really wants to buy him 10,000 ready-made pigs for sale. I'm afraid if this continues, bankruptcy is not far away. Although pork is not expensive nowadays, according to the market trend in 2017, 1 kilogram of pork pig costs more than 20 yuan. According to a pig weighing 400 pounds, 10,000 heads is about 1 billion. Although we specialize in animal feed, our financial reserves are not very sufficient. As is well known, it is common for large enterprises to have outstanding debts and long payment cycles. Some large enterprises settle their accounts every 2 quarters, 1 year, and 2 years. Even old customer companies have longer checkout cycles. According to my father's self-funded reserve of 4.5 billion yuan. At least 200 million yuan needs to be left for turnover, and it's already good to invest over 1 billion yuan to establish a large pig farm for him. Moreover, if it weren't for Wang Mang's intervention, his father would have really planned to buy 10,000 pigs first to devour evolution. Of course, although Wang Mang refused 10,000 pigs. However, Wang Mang mainly planned to buy the amount for the next evolution after each evolution, which would be much more convenient. Additionally, it is worth mentioning. Wang Mang has now completed his 7th evolution. Unfortunately, during these 2 recent evolutions, Wang Mang did not acquire any special abilities. This made Wang Mang somewhat regretful. However, it is worth mentioning that Wang Mang's current volume has reached a level of 14 meters, truly catching up with a body as thick as a human waist. Today, it is Wang Mang's 8th evolution preparation that has begun. Today, he needs to devour prey and obtain at least 15,000 evolution points before he can proceed with his 8th evolution. It takes about 40 pigs to evolve. At night, there was already a person in charge of transportation in a small pigsty, bringing in 40 pigs. Plus, there are still 7 or 8 pigs in this small pigsty, making it nearly 50 pigs in total. After being responsible for the night, several breeders finished feeding the pigs and started chatting. Why is Mr. Wang so strange? It's okay to build a pig farm on such a big mountain. Moreover, sometimes the pigs we feed disappear automatically the next day, and we report this situation to the boss, who makes us ignore it. Moreover, Mr. Wang also stipulates that after we finish work at 6 o'clock, we must all leave the breeding farm by force. If we dare to stay at the breeding farm, we will be directly dismissed. At this moment, a middle-aged woman suddenly brightened her eyes and said, "Yes. This is too strange. You know, if we secretly collaborate to steal 2 pigs, the boss shouldn't notice, right? After all, the pigs sent by the boss often disappear the next day. Even if we secretly take a few of them, it shouldn't be a problem." Yeah. Since that's the case, even if we quietly take away 2 pigs, Mr. Wang probably wouldn't know. Upon hearing the woman's words, another middle-aged male employee sneered, "You guys think it's quite beautiful. There are surveillance cameras all around here, haven't you seen them?" End of this chapter.